Hi, girls and boys, and welcome to Good Children Reads, where good children read. My name is Julie, and today we are reading another Pete the Cat story. Pete the Cat is one of my favorite characters, and he always goes on the best adventures. So let's go ahead and get started. Pete the Cat, Firefighter Pete by James Dean. "We are going on a class trip today," says Principal Nancy. She leads the class to a bright yellow bus. Everyone climbs on board. "I wonder where we are going," says Pete. They are going to visit the firehouse today. The bus parks next to the bright red firehouse. Pete and his classmates are excited. The firehouse is huge. It's so big it can hold 2 long red fire trucks and all of the firefighters' equipment. The firefighters show the kids around. They give everyone a turn to ring the old brass fire bell outside the firehouse. Then all the kids take turns sliding down the firefighter's pole. Whee! Callie yells as she glides down. The firefighters allow the kids to try on their gear. Firefighters wear a lot of equipment. First, Pete puts on the heavy black overalls. Then he steps into the tall black boots. A firefighter helps Pete put on the heavy yellow jacket. Finally, they place a hard black helmet on Pete's head. All this gear is very heavy. Pete can barely move. The firefighters allow the kids to explore one of the fire trucks. Callie sits in the driver's seat. She presses the horn. Brrr! It's so loud that all the kids cover their ears. Then Pete turns on the sirens and lights. The sirens blare. Woo-wee, woo-wee. The lights flash red and yellow. Suddenly, a loud bell rings in the firehouse. Uh-oh, it's the fire alarm. There's a fire in town. Gear up, Pete. The firefighters scramble into their gear very quickly. Pete puts on his gear too. They all climb aboard the fire truck and turn on the siren and lights. Firefighter Pete and the firefighters are on their way. Woo-wee, woo-wee. The fire engine races through town and the lights flash round and round. A firefighter presses the horn. Brrr! All the other cars move out of the way. There's the fire! It's hot and loud, but the firefighters know exactly what to do. They work together as a team to connect the fire truck to the fire hydrant. Then, the firefighters also attach a long, heavy hose to the truck. Firefighter Pete gives the signal and the firefighters turn on the water. Whoosh! The water gushes out very fast. Several firefighters must hold the hose to control it. Pete helps direct the hose as they spray the fire with water. The fire is starting to go out. There is smoke everywhere. Suddenly, Pete hears yelling from the roof. Do you remember who that is? We've seen him before. Oh no, it's Grumpy Toad. He needs to be rescued. The firefighters raise a long ladder from the truck. Crank, crank, crank. The ladder goes up and up and up. Firefighter Pete and another firefighter help Grumpy Toad climb down the ladder carefully. Yay! The fire is out and everyone is safe. You can see there's no more fire, just lots of smoke and lots of water. The firefighters drive back to the firehouse. They take off all their gear. They pat Pete on the back and say, "Good job, Pete! Firefighter Pete helped save the day. Yay!" And that is the end of Firefighter Pete. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you remember that at the end of each story, we always play a memory game to see how much of the story you remember. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and we'll see if you remember what happened in the story. First question, what is the first thing that Pete and his classmates do when the firefighters show them around? Let's go to that page. The first thing they do is they give everyone a turn to ring the old brass fire bell outside the firehouse. Did you get that one correct? Okay, second question. What equipment do the firefighters wear? And as a hint, Pete tried all of it on. There are 4 different pieces. There are heavy black overalls, right here. Then there are also tall black boots, which Pete is pulling on. A heavy yellow jacket, that's shown here. And finally, a hard black helmet. And this is what it all looks like when Pete puts everything on. And it's very heavy, so heavy that Pete can barely move. So those are the 4 pieces of equipment. The final question, how do the firefighters and Pete put out the fire? You remember they work together as a team to connect the fire truck to the fire hydrant, and then they also attach a long, heavy hose to the truck. Pete gives the signal and the firefighters turn on the water. Whoosh! So did you have a good time on Pete's adventure as a firefighter? I hope that you enjoyed this story. And if you have ever thought about becoming a firefighter, then now you know a little bit more about what that involves. And if you do decide to become a firefighter, then you can go on adventures just like Pete and his friends. You'll be able to ride a fire truck and put out fires and be a hero. Thank you for joining me as we joined Pete on his adventure. And I hope that you will join me again next time for another story. Bye!